The families I work with are the most vulnerable. So these are mainly single moms living in poverty, many of them who have not even got a high school diploma, and they're socially isolated. And those factors compound just not having enough money. A boy, her one son, struggles a lot in school, very weak reader, is getting lots of support from his incredible inner city school. How does he get to school? It's now 25 blocks away and he doesn't have a bus pass. He's sleeping in a bed with 4 people. He's 12 years old, hard to sleep in a bed with your mother and 2 brothers when you're 12 years old, living in an unheated place, and they're running out of food every month. And his mother works full-time, so how do you get to the food bank? And then you think, wow, that's a child who already has special needs. What are the chances of him doing anything differently than his mother? As a society, is that the plan that we would come up with to say, this is how we want to help this boy have a better life than his mother? We want to make sure that having been born with 10 counts against him, we want to ensure that he doesn't have a healthy place to live, doesn't have the appropriate transportation or clothing, doesn't have healthy food to grow and develop with, and can't get to school. That's our recipe for helping him break the cycle. I mean, any business person would tell you that that is just not a plan that would fly. That's the part I don't understand, is that none of us, if we just even look at it totally not from a humanitarian perspective at all, if we just look at it as taxpayers, we work hard, we pay taxes, we want the government to spend our tax dollars wisely. This is not wise. This doesn't make any sense to me at all, to take special needs kids and then give them the bare minimum. Where I think it really affects kids, I mean at a scientific level, it affects the way children's brains develop. So if you're living in poverty and you don't have books in the home, you don't have toys in the home, you don't have healthy food in the home, and maybe because of the stress of poverty, you don't have parents that are even able or even aware of the kinds of free resources that are available in the community. So you don't get the stimulation of going to the park, of maybe getting a secondhand bike and riding around the seawall. You don't get that. And your brain grows differently as a result of that. And maybe because your mother is so stressed by her home circumstances. Family I saw earlier in the week had been flooded out of their home. She had to go and live in the Biltmore Hotel. I mean, how do you do that with kids? Well, the kids weren't supposed to be there, so they had to go and live with someone else, a separation. So they're coping with these kinds of things that we don't cope with on a daily basis. That kind of day in, day out stress, that does something to parents as well. And that affects the way they parent, and that affects the way that their children's brains grow. The effects of poverty are very complicated on children. But thankfully, the solution is not that complicated. It's actually pretty simple. We have really good research to show, this was research that was done over 40 years following a cohort of children that were born into poverty. We know that at any point in a child's life, you can alter about 3 factors, and you can make a significant difference in that child's trajectory. So you can change their social outcome, their behavioral outcome, and their academic outcome, just by changing 3 things. The 3 things are, you need to relieve the urgent family stressors, which are mainly to do with poverty. The second thing is you have to connect the parent to social supports within the community. And the third thing is you have to get the parents involved in the child's school. Those 3 things, we can do that. That is not rocket science. We can do it.